Being human first requires you to engage with the 3 R's of resilience, which are the same 3 R's of reinvention. And the third of these R's is a reframe. Reframe is probably the most important and exciting one because it allows you to re-story your life. Re-story something that's been holding you back or limiting you. For those of you who know my past, I had a really kind of struggle being brought up, and you can check my TEDx talk to see that if you'd like to have a look. It will make you cry, so have a tissue. So I had real stories around not being good enough. People like me don't do things like this. You know, I'm cheap and I'm dirty and I'm guilty and I'm worthless. And that was a real narrative. And every decision I made was based on that narrative. Like, I didn't try stuff because I'm going to fail. So there's no point. There's no point in revising because I'm not going to pass. People like me don't do things like this. And that information was built on and embedded till it became the norm. The only way I could ever remember thinking and feeling. And that's the problem. Your thoughts lead into feelings, or your feelings crystallize as thoughts. And those thoughts and feelings become the words you say. Those words are the beliefs that you hold, and the actions you take are all connected to that. Then that becomes a habit. It becomes your character. It becomes who you are. And if you're not careful, it becomes your destiny. All because of something that someone else might have thought or said. What's really important with Reframe is that you choose what is serving you and you keep going with that. Often when I'm doing keynotes, I ask people to put their hand up if they consider themselves to be a success. Now, depending where I am in the world, that can go one of 2 ways. In Britain, mostly, no one puts their hand up, or someone will nudge their friend, or someone will sort of put their hand up and then put it down. I think partly it's not wanting to say that we're good at something, but also it's kind of feeling that we haven't been a success. We look back at our lives and all we can see are the areas that we failed. And those areas that we failed cause us to say, I'm not a success. I could be a CEO. I could be an exec. I could be a high-performing person in some area or field. I could just be a nice person. But no, I don't see that as success because there's always something I could do better. It's quite a hard way of being on yourself. Sometimes that comes from the way that we've been treated, the stories that we've told, the truths that we've accepted. I just want to make sure that if you have a story, it's one you've chosen. It's not one that served you before but doesn't serve you now. When I was a kid, my story was that I wasn't good enough and people like me didn't do things like this. And that served me because it meant that I could stay a victim. It meant that the world owed me a living and I could moan about everything. It worked. Victimhood is a lovely place to holiday. You just can't live there. The reframe for me came from changing my outlook, my thoughts and feelings from why me to why not me. That came over a period of time, but that reframe has meant that my life looks very different now. The way I do life, the way I show up looks very different now. The way I parent, the way I lead, the way I speak is very different because of choice, because of intention, because I wasn't going to let someone else write my story. Reframe means it's never too late to have a happy childhood. It's never too late to start again. It's never too late to take the step that you know deep down inside that you could take and open a new door to some new way of being. It's never too late. So when are you going to be ready to reframe? When are you going to choose to forgive yourself and move forward into a new and different way of being, which is completely in alignment with your own integrity? I can't wait to see you do that.